Right, Karnataka is voting, Karnataka is polling. Hopefully every single one of you who lives in Karnataka is either gone out to vote. Actually, it's only 10% turnout, so you haven't yet done that. But now I'm sure you are planning to do it. And if you're not planning to do it, you should be planning to do it. It's your important democratic right, privilege, duty. So do go and cast your vote. And we have a very large panel here with us to take us through every single twist and turn and tell us what it all means. So Mohammad Khan of the Congress Party, Niranjan is still with us, Hejaz Ilmi of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Shahid Siddiqui is with us, Desh Ratan is here, and Smita Prakash, a range of people. And by the way, I'm so glad that the new uniform, very clearly, as you can see around this, is nice, you know, jackets. We've ditched the coat and the tie.
The half Nehru jacket.
Okay, now we can debate. We can spend 20 minutes now discussing whether it should be the Nehru jacket or the Modi jacket. What do you feel?
It is the Nehru jacket. Well, it is the Nehru jacket.
There's no debate about that.
I mean,
Nehru, at least give this
Hejaz,
credit
are
to
you wearing
Nehru.
a Nehru jacket or are you
born
wearing a Modi jacket?
I'm wearing a nice one. 50 years before Modi.
Okay, Smita saying I don't even want to get into Smita saying I don't want to get into this.
She won't.
That's because you're not wearing a
Not my cup of tea.
Okay, fine.
But it's a Karnataka sari.
Even
so can you
RSS will
please
agree with
admire
that this is the Nehru jacket.
All right, can I come back from jackets to the Karnataka election as Maya taps her feet and saying, "Excuse me, I'm standing out here in the sun and in the heat." Maya, we are wondering whether enough people are coming out to vote or not. What's your sense on the ground there?
Well, there was a bit of concern and no reference to the mudslinging that has gone on in the election so far. But you can look at the wet earth. We've had 2 successive evenings of very, very heavy rain. But so far the weather is holding out. There's a blue sky up there. And hopefully if it holds out until 6 p.m., the end of voting, we're going to get a good turnout. Here in Tatguni, look at the length of this queue. This is the longest queue we have seen so far. It's meandering along. Quite a lot of people in this queue as well. And this is not the only queue in this high school. On that side as well, you see more queues. So I'd say hundreds of people here alone in these massive queues. Long queues here at this time of the morning, the longest queues we've seen so far. This is Tatguni village. Tatguni is seeing a lot of enthusiastic turnout as people have come out on this voting day in Karnataka in an election that has certainly caught the interest of the country and of the parties as well. So, Amma, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು? ರಾಜಮ್ಮ, ನೀವು ಬಂದಾಗ ಯಾಕೆ ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತೀರಾ? ಏನು ಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ?
ನಮಗೆ ಓಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜನ ಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ನಡಿಬೇಕು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಊರೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಂದುವರಿಬೇಕು, ನಮಗೆ ಮಾನವ ಹಕ್ಕು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿರಬೇಕು.
Thank you. So she votes because she wants good people to come, she wants progress for her people, she wants good things to happen. Amma, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು? ಮುನಿಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಮ್ಮ, ನೀವು ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಏನು ಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಇಷ್ಟ?
ಏನೋ ನಮ್ಮ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಇರೋವರೆಗೂ ಇದು ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ನಾವು
ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Excellent. She's saying this is her duty. For as long as she is alive, she must continue to vote. Duty ಅದು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. It's her duty to vote. She must vote for the government. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರಪ್ಪ? ನಾರಾಯಣಪ್ಪ.
ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಲೇಬೇಕು.
ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಹಾಕಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ನಮ್ಮದು ಹಕ್ಕು ನಮ್ಮದು. Compulsory voting, it should be there. He feels it's absolutely important to vote. So ನೀವು ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿಗೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ? ಏನು ಇಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ?
ಹಂಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಷ್ಟ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ
ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Okay, so just voting because they want to vote. They really do want to vote. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರಮ್ಮ? ನಾಗಮ್ಮ. ಸೊ ನಾಗಮ್ಮ, ನೀವು ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು? ರೋಡ್ಸು, ಪವರು, ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ?
ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ರೋಡು ಚರಂಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ
ಆಗಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? So hoping that the politicians that they vote for will actually make a difference. And so Aman, when you come to vote, ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ? What are you looking for? ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ?
ನಮ್ಮ ಅವರ ಬೇಡಿಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಈಡೇರಿಸಬೇಕು, ಅದೇ ಮೇನು. ಬರೀ ಮಾತಾಡೋಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋದೊಂದಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ರೋಡ್ಗೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ 5 years ಒಂದ್ಸರಿನೇ ಬರೋದು, ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿ
ಹಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So that familiar complaint that after 5 years, for 5 years they don't see them after voting. They want the promises to be fulfilled. So long queues here, really long queues here in this booth in Tatguni. Hundreds of people at this booth alone to vote. There is security in place. There is a lot of security in place. Some of these booths are declared special, sensitive. But right now, people waiting to vote in this election, which has seen a rather bitter campaign, certainly being taken very, very seriously by all the parties who brought out their big guns. There's been Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and of course the Janata Dal Secular on the ground. But lots of people taking this election very seriously indeed in the run-up to 2019. And also for those of us here in Karnataka, it counts for us too, because whoever we vote for, we're hoping they're going to be ruling us for the next 5 years. So it's been an important election for the state as well. Yes, important for the Lok Sabha, but important for Karnataka too.
Yes, CM. Okay.
All right, so yeah, I mean, Smith just asked an interesting question. We haven't yet seen the Chief Minister. Yediyurappa, we've seen him voting. Mr. Deve Gowda, we haven't yet seen by Mr. Siddharamaiah, but no doubt we'll get pictures at some point soon. Smith, I trust there's an ANI crew out there tracking him very
In Mysore,
closely.
yeah, he's going to be voting there. But then it's strange that he hasn't given a soundbite. He hasn't spoken to the media. He hasn't come out to vote. Everybody's come. Deve Gowda, senior to him by a couple of decades, has come out. Yediyurappa has come out to vote. Everybody's come out. Kumble,
So
Shumble,
I'm going to go across to
out.
Sneha. You're going to SMS your crew, which is tracking him, no doubt,
Asking
very
him to
closely.
come out, yeah, that's a bit
and say,
much.
"Bhai, jaldi se aake batao, what are you thinking of doing?" All right, Sneha, let me go to you. We've seen huge queues there behind Maya, so that particular part, obviously seeing a big turnout. Sneha, what are you seeing? And what are people in the queues telling you? Why are they voting? What are they voting for? What are the key issues?
Well, Vikram, you got a sense about what voters are saying while Maya was speaking. Let me take you to one of the commercial streets in Bengaluru. We are here at Shivaji Nagar, which is just parallel to a prominent commercial street in Bengaluru. What you see around are potholes. This is also a place which often has waterlogging, a civic issue which Bengaluru, which people of Karnataka have been raising time and again. It's been an election campaigning season with high-profile politicians coming down to back their parties. But let's ask people who live here, what does it really mean for them? Sir, your name, please. You live in this area, and what is the kind of issue that you see while living here?
I'm Kumaravil. I'm living more than 10 years this area. Mainly this area is problem is the garbage issues is there, because this is a commercial area. You see the more business are going here, that's the issue. The garbage is not cleared properly. They are cleaning it, but we are expecting more and more quality.
Right.
More, it should be the quality should be getting improved.
Sir, your name, please, and you were talking about waterlogging issues.
Waterlogging, but everything is there. What the drainage part is cleared properly and it's done maintained properly in time. Everything is sure, no problem.
You would have no problem if it was
The
maintained.
drainage is maintained properly, and one more thing, garbage means a particular area should be given and dumped and proper time to take it out.
Okay, so let me ask you something. When you will be voting today, you haven't voted yet, you are going to vote. Don't tell us the candidate or the party you are going to vote for, but when you're going to be voting for your candidate, is this an issue that you are going to be looking at, or is it just a party that you'll be looking at?
No. For the workmanship, who will do that job. Who knows he can do the job and he can attend to it.
Right. So when you're driving your car, your two-wheelers, and you see this kind of an issue across Bengaluru, have you tried raising it with your elected representatives?
Everybody we are raising. We brought them to their conclusion. We have brought them to the spot. We have showed them so many things. They said they get it done. But they are doing their efforts. But higher level, we cannot say anything.
So you're saying they're doing
doing
what
their job.
they can, but you require something more.
They are
Which is
doing
what?
instantly they are doing, they are rectifying the pothole, they are covering up everything. Temporary solutions are there. We are looking the permanent solutions.
So you're saying one bout of rain and the road is back to being cracked like this. We'll show you how bad the road is. An auto is just going through this particular pothole, the cracked road, and you can see how bumpy it has been. Did you bring your elected representatives here? Did you try telling them this during this election season?
Yes, we are intimating to a local councillor, ward councillor, we are informing continuously. They are doing it, but we are
You want quality, a long-lasting quality.
Quality we are expecting.
And you're going to be voting based on these issues?
Yes.
Or is it party loyalty?
No. They based on issues only we are voting.
Have you voted?
No, I am going there.
You're going there. He just finished his coffee and his breakfast along with me, and right now he's going to go for voting. But people largely saying it's not just party loyalty. They are actually looking at issues, the day-to-day issues that really matter to them.
Right, the day-to-day issues that really matter to them, that's what they're voting on. Sneha, thanks so much for that. We'll come back to you in just a short while and keep getting updates. Senior spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Bhavanachari, joining us now from Bengaluru. So we just saw Mr. Yediyurappa coming out and sounding very, very confident indeed, saying, I'm going to win by 50,000, 150 seats, and I'll be sworn in on the 17th of this month, which is really a lot of confidence. What to your mind is lying behind that confidence, and is it perhaps overconfidence to some extent?
Ground reality in whole of Karnataka. People here are fed up with the present government system. One thing is always true, that in past 20-25 years, with the exception of only once, people have been changing government every 5 years. And now 5 years are over, people are not happy with what present government has been doing. Second thing important about this time is, whatever mistakes we had done last time, Yediyurappa has promised that we will not repeat anything and we will give a much better government. Last time it was a divided party. There were 3 groups among ourselves only. Still we had polled more than 37% of the votes even that time. This time also we will poll well, but we will poll as so much that we will sweep these elections. Number 3, the presence of Shri Narendra Modi and Amit Shah has been such a big boost to us that last minute the fillip it gave was wonderful, and the confidence level in last 10 days has gone up so much that even opponents have given up. They say that yes, BJP is going to come, only the question is how much majority. But we say that it is going to be a sweep. As Amit Shah, our president, on the last day of the election, 2 days back, declared that it is going to be 130 plus. We were sitting together, he in fact asked us, go out, say to the people that we are 130 plus. This is the message our President Sri Amit Shah ji gave, and the atmosphere seems to be in accordance with what Amit Shah ji has said.
All right, well, Muhammad Khan sitting out here was rather amused by what you were saying. So 2 aspects of it. We've seen it in election after election that the BJP is on X ground, and then Amit Shah, well, Narendra Modi specifically flies inside, has a bunch of rallies and changes the elections around, right? He does that time after time. Bit like De Villiers coming out for RCB. That same sort of an effect. Has it happened in Karnataka? And they're saying that you've given up now, and the only question is how much margin the BJP is going to win by.
The gentleman from the BJP went on at length about the campaign and the healing and warming effects of Mr. Modi's presence in the people of Karnataka. Before I begin, Mr. Chandra, let me preface what I'm about to say with the following. The presence of political panelists, and I hope that the gentleman from the BJP is listening to this, the presence of political panelists today on your show, on any other show, is actually different from any other day. We are bound by Rule 7.1 of the Election Commission's handbook. While of course you as a news channel are free to report, and that is your job, we have to be very careful what we say. Let me read out the rule so you may quote it to him and to others. The law provides that no person shall, subclause B, display to the public any election matter by means of cinematography, television, or any other similar apparatus in any polling area during the period of 48 hours, ending with the hour fixed for the conclusion of the poll for any election in that polling area. Now, assuming that this channel
the television channels in
simple language.
What has he done?
No, it's simple language. It simply means that no political party can put forth any material that is witnessed by the people in that area.
But what has
and
he
that
done?
can
Has he put a
perceive as
BJP
campaigning.
flag on his face? What has he done?
No.
That's a very
Even talking about the campaign, even talking about what Prime Minister Modi has done, if it can be seen as influencing voters, the ultimate test is, will it influence voters? He has to be careful about that. I'm not asking him to subscribe to a standard.
The Congress spokesperson has been just saying that what they have done and what they have not done.
That's fine. See, that's fine. You can talk about all of that. Of course, the ultimate interpretation has to be taken by the Election Commission.
Are we doing it? Are we saying vote for the hand? If I put up vote for the hand?
No, see, you're not a political panelist. So you're exonerated from this.
He's talking about himself.
The BJP and myself.
He's basically saying that he shouldn't
Our
say...
standard is only for the
can't-
BJP and ourselves. Not for you, not for you. I think you're safe because you have no affiliation.
Okay, but don't hold
we
up
have
your
to be-
hand.
Okay,
we have to
hold up
be
my
careful
I'm
about
gonna,
this sort of thing.
yeah, put your hand
So,
down.
Down.
in
Don't,
sum-
do I have a lotus anywhere on me? No, I
you
don't,
don't.
thankfully.
I presume.
So in sum,
No
what-
JDS
yeah.
symbols either.
No, so
Where's my
in-
hammer and sickle? Let me throw it away.
So,
I
so
don't
in
see where-
conclusion, what I'm trying to say is, there is a lot that can be said to dismiss the arbitrary and flimsy points being put forth by the gentleman from the BJP.
Acha, are you winning or are you losing?
Unfortunately,
Let
today,
me just come to
I
the
would
facts
have
of
to
it.
be a little...
No, I understand you
yeah.
can't campaign, but
Of
you
course.
can't tell me, do you think you're winning or
Of
you're
course,
losing
we are
the election?
confident. Undoubtedly, we are winning this election. We are very, very confident. We've been throughout. We've run a positive
Are
campaign.
they getting 140
and that-
seats?
I don't think so. I don't think this is the BJP of 2014. I think 4 years is a long time for people to see you for who you are. That's all I'll say on the subject.
It's a long time for people to see you for what you are. Shahid Siddiqui, you haven't anything to say yet.
You didn't ask me. You see, as we always say, we analysts say that every election is crucial. But I will say again that that this is a very crucial election for BJP and for Congress, both of them. This is will pay the path for 2019 and what's going to happen in Madhya Pradesh and
Okay. Shahid,
Rajasthan.
I'm going to take you up on this a little further. I just want to quickly go to Hridesh before we lose him, but I think you've just, the issue of how this affects national politics, I think we should spend some time in discussing that, and we will discuss that right now. It won't even be considered campaigning if Mohammed says something strong about it. So, at least not till the 2019 election. But Hridesh, let me come across to you. We were just saying, you know, Maya with big queues around her, Sneha talking to some people about to go out and vote. What's happening in the areas around you?
Yes, Siddaramaiah is about to come. We are being told at 12 o'clock he will cast his vote with some of his family members. But his brother, we saw in the morning, he came at this polling station and he cast his vote. And he was very optimistic about the prospects of his nephew who is contesting from here, Siddaramaiah's son. And his brother, Siddaramaiah himself, is contesting from 2 seats where he has a relatively difficult fight in Badami North, North Karnataka and nearby in Chamundeshwari. But what interesting thing I want to tell you, Vikram, is that there are 11 seats in this Mysuru districts where 8 seats were won by Congress. And to defeat Congress, what we are gathering here is that BJP has very tactically put its candidates, like in Siddaramaiah's seat in GT Devagowda himself. He's a sitting contestant from JDS. There is a very weak candidate of BJP, but BJP is also accusing Congress of doing the same in the other parts of state. So it's a very interesting contest. But this part where I am standing of Karnataka, there is not much for BJP. This contest between JDS and Congress, but BJP is only hoping this in this part of state that if JDS fares well, the game will be wide open for the future.
All right. You know, just wanted to ask you this entire question on the JDS. I'm about to come to that. But if you're picking up signals from there, it could be, okay, if the BJP gets 140 seats or the Congress gets 140 seats and 110 seats also, then that game is over. If the JDS becomes an important factor, if the JDS has to choose, then I'm sure a lot of people are busy speculating as to which direction they will go.
Yes, it is very important because, you know, if JDS is the key player, if the key is with JDS, who will have the last laugh, you know? I mean, in JDS also there are 2 factions. Father says we will not go with BJP, but Kumaraswamy keeps it wide open, you know. And there is a game plan. There is a tactics. We are being told that Sri Ramulu, who is up against Siddaramaiah in North Karnataka and Badami, he will be the deputy CM, and Kumaraswamy may be offered the CM seat. So it is going to be interesting. We will have to wait till 15th. But it is a clear, you know, indication here that seat to seat, there is a strategy, very sharp strategy, and the way Prime Minister Narendra Modi has come and he has shielded Yediyurappa when Siddaramaiah was attacking him on corruption charges, and he's tried to turn it on Siddaramaiah. So that is very important. But again, I will say that the issues are not very important here. Corruption has been an issue on TV screen, but this entire whatever I could gather here, the entire contest, the state election, is mostly dependent on the caste equations.
Okay, it's coming down to caste equations, and we should turn our attention to that, right? Which way the caste equations are going to play it out. It's an important issue to talk about. So, but before I come to that, I want to get the JDS question a little bit. Let's just have a say on what the JDS may or may not do. Let me start with you, Dr. Vamanacharya. The JDS question. Which side do you think? Okay, obviously, if the BJP gets a majority, the Congress gets a majority, they're not required. If their support is required, which way do you think they're going to go?
It's very clear in Karnataka that we are going to cross not only the mid number but much beyond that. There is no question of going with anybody. We will win this election. We have seen the enthusiasm among people. Even I have myself voted. This is just went to polling booth and came back here for your interview. I have seen the enthusiasm among people to get BJP elected, and Yediyurappa will be our chief minister for next 5 years. Karnataka will see a development because of the concurrent governments both at Delhi and at Bangalore. Because of this, the development in Karnataka will be fast-tracked, and Karnataka can see a development and also a balanced law and order, systematic government along with development here, for which people are waiting. We will definitely try to get people of Karnataka a much better government than what it is last 5 years. Thank you.
Can I ask you, Mr. Khan, I mean, the question about, the question on the JDS, whom do you think they would be closer to, the Congress or the BJP, if required? And B, this entire question about whether it's easier for a state government to function if it's the same party at power at the center.
Right. The answer to your question about the JDS, without going into the realm of opinion, let's look at facts. Prime Minister Modi goes to Karnataka and one of his first speeches talks about the slight that Deve Gowda suffered at the hands of the Congress. He talks about the great leader that Deve Gowda is. He lauds him for his contribution to Indian politics. Barely within a few days, within that same week in fact, Mr. Deve Gowda comes out and issues a statement that the only reason I'm in the Lok Sabha today is because of Prime Minister Modi. Now, there is a certain bonhomie there. There's no bonhomie between them and us. There is no association between them and us. So,
but
if
that's
one
not
were
necessarily
to
good news for you. It means that if going by what you're saying, if both of you fall short, if it's a hung assembly scenario, which is what many opinion polls are still pointing to, we know the exit polls say later, but if it's a hung assembly, if there's bonhomie between them, it means the JDS could support the BJP.
It's very likely.
In fact,
I wouldn't
very likely. You're saying.
It's very likely. As Ridesh was pointing out, why do you think they're keeping it open? The father and the son. Why do you think that dichotomy exists? I think it's very likely that the JDS, and though their spokespersons have been denying this vehemently on channels, I think they have kept the door open. The Congress itself, by the way, has been confident from day one, and it is confident today that we are winning this election without the support of anyone else. But I want to say something to Mr. Vamanacharya. Mr. Vamanacharya, without referring to this election, I want to say you remind me of a younger and more handsome Amit Shah when he said before Gujarat, don't celebrate before we cross 150. Today you're saying the same thing. You're saying exactly, you're using almost the same words he was using back then. We know what happened thereafter. इसलिए सबर रखते, let's be patient and wait for polling to get over. The results aren't very far away.
Dr. Vamanacharya, you want to respond to that? Are you celebrating too soon?
Yeah, the atmosphere in Karnataka is all crystallized. There are absolutely no chances for anybody else to come to this level. Congress will, at the best, can be in third position, not even in second. This is the situation that people are angry with the present government, and BJP is going to form the government, and successively everywhere, wherever Amit Shah and Modi duo has gone and did the election work, we have won almost all except Punjab and Puducherry, and Congress will be reduced to only Puducherry and Punjab government and nowhere else. And in the south, before parliament elections,
I'm going to have an entire discussion on the caste factor
win the south, and Karnataka is the main entry for BJP.
No, can I
Okay.
say something?
Can-
Independently, one sentence. Vamanacharya Sahab, you very proudly laid out your achievements. 20 states, you say they've led you to victory in. 5 of those states you've been rejected by the people at large. Yet you have clawed your way into power with your Chanakya Niti, as you so call it.
But
You have been
that's the job
struck
of a
down
political
repeatedly.
party to
No,
try and
I
come to
disagree.
power.
I think the very fact that we allow that kind of politics to creep in and say that's the new normal, that is a subversion of democracy. Democracy is the rule of the majority.
Congress is trying
I'm
to hide
sorry.
the fact that
I will tell you
Congress
something.
today has become untouchable.
I'll tell you
Therefore,
something.
people do not
This
form a
election,
coalition with
this
them.
election and the elections after this will mark a watershed moment. You mark my words, this election onwards. You see, and they're nervous about this. Mr. Vamanacharya is extremely nervous. This bravado is a front. It's a charade. It's a smoke screen. They know they're slipping. And that's what's happening here.
Okay,
I would love to speak more, but I'm constrained by
I
Rule
want to quickly
7.1.
do a round of everybody, starting with you, Niranjan, going that side. JDS, which side are they going to go if required?
Depending on if it is a hung assembly, depending on who is number one in their perception, they will take a call. It will decide that if they see a future for them beyond Karnataka, they are going to go with the Congress. If they think that they do not have a future beyond Karnataka, they have to be satisfied with whatever they get in Karnataka, they will go with the BJP.
Well, to that extent, so though he said that they're very close to the BJP, to the extent that the JDS would like to be a player in this federal front or accumulation of regional parties,
it would imagine
to that
a repeat
extent
of,
it makes sense for them to
would
position as
repeat
anti-BJP.
it would hope for a repeat of 96. Devegowda became the Prime Minister in 96. It is his son's time this time. Maybe why not hope for something like that?
Is that a factor that you think, so irrespective of what he's saying about the JDS being close to the BJP, to the extent that they think that they can become a fulcrum of anti-BJP, anti-Congress sort of forces, the federal front or whatever it's called?
I don't think so. Having lived in Karnataka for 10 years and studied in Karnataka and understanding the nuances of the Vokalika politics, it's clear that the son is likely to prevail the way he wants to do it. I think he's going to prevail over his father's decision, and that's very, in case of a hung situation, which I don't see happening, then the likelihood of JDS supporting the BJP obviously takes precedence, because Kumaraswamy would never have a truck with the Congress
And then
party.
Devegowda will disown him again.
Well, that's politics.
Okay, sorry, Siddiqui.
No, it's even Devegowda has they have both have an understanding, the son and the father. Father may disown him or own him, but Kumaraswamy will go with any party which is ready to support him as the chief minister, as Devegowda did. He wants to be the chief minister. They are not going to support non-Sitaramaiya Congress. He wants to be the chief minister now.
Okay, so therefore, to the two of you, I'm going to throw in yet another possible googly. Let's say it is really hung, more hung than all of this. It's not one party is at 90 or 100 and very close to it and needs somebody to support. Let's say it's actually something like, I don't know, 80-80, 40 or 80-80-60, that sort of a situation. Is it possible that either the Congress or the BJP then comes and says, let it be a JDS government, we'll support you?
Let me tell you, I don't agree with your proposition that it's going to be a hung assembly.
No, I'm saying assume. We are speculating. We'll keep speculating till the 15th afternoon.
And therefore, JDS is a strong party with strong leadership. It is they who are going to play their cards. In case if it's a hung assembly, they are not going to make a distinction between Congress or the BJP. They are going to put their best foot forward and to see where they get the maximum benefit out of it.
Okay, bargaining post facto, Smita, is what they are saying. Is there at all this possibility that I was alluding to, if it's really, really, really hung?
Look, first, I don't agree with what Niranjan had to say that, with JDS or Devegowda having national ambitions and hence may not go with the BJP and would like to stay on as an anti-BJP. I asked Devegowda this, and he said that had it happened 15 years ago, he knows age is not on his right side. He knows that if there is an anti-BJP front that forms, for him it is too late now to head that coalition or head that group. So he said very sadly, he said if it had happened 15 years ago, maybe. He said they did come to meet me and I did say that yes, there is a possibility, but it's too late for me. He said that. Would Kumaraswamy be leading? Kumaraswamy doesn't have that kind of leadership quality. Not that Devegowda did at that time, but you know, it kind of fell into place during Gujral and Deve Gowda's period. That was a different era. But today, Kumaraswamy doesn't have it in him to be a leader of that kind of a front. Now comes to the state level. They are still, JDS is still known as a Tande Maga or Appa Maga, which means father and son party. They are the ones who will decide, not the cadre, not anything.
Yes.
And it is a father-son. This disowning is nonsense. We saw what happened with, in UP, we saw with Mulayam and Akhilesh. They will get together. It's family.
Yes.
And you know, any 80-year-old, if you have your grandfather or father who's in his 80s, you'll realize that the only thing that matters at that stage is my legacy and respect. And if that is hurt in any manner, if that maryada, that respect is hurt in any manner, they get very offended and they will make sure that they ruin things for their sons.
And that's a problem. So A, that's a factor, and B, the factor, of course, will be Siddaramaiah himself, right? Whether he is the leader. If Siddaramaiah was not the leader of the Congress, maybe the JDS would find it easier to do a deal. But okay, this is also assuming Dr. Vamanacharya is sitting there with that, saying that why are you even discussing all of this? We are getting 130, 140, but there we are. So, Dr. Vamanacharya, I mean, are you in talks with the JDS at all?
You have to. Vikram, I can understand that you have to run your show for another 2-3 hours till the elections are over. But one thing is true, that we are just not interested in any of such gossips going on the screen, because we have already decided that on 17th, Yediyurappa will be taking oath. To that extent, even the date, place we have decided, and we are on a path of success, not on the path of confusion or discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
So no discussion, no talking about this, but seeing as Mahmood Khan is forbidding us from doing any campaigning, you're forbidding us from gossiping, so you know we have to then figure out what are we going to start discussing.
Well, I'm listening very carefully to Mr. Vamanacharya to see if anything he says is actionable.
No, hang on. So now that you're all collectively forcing our hand, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back and we're going to look at numbers. Let's get into what Smita was alluding to a short while back. At the end of the day, a lot of this could break down into caste dynamics, into community dynamics, into whether the Lingayat vote is split, which way the Vokaliga is going to go. So all of that when we come back after this break. All right, Karnataka is polling and we are continuing to see a large number of people going in and casting their vote here. For example, pictures, Anil Kumble, somebody we all know very well. Is that Anil Kumble or is that H.G. Devegowda? But I think that's Anil Kumble. I was just thinking that he seems to have changed a little bit. So Anil Kumble tweeting out pictures of himself going out and voting. Dravid, and a large number of people will, I'm sure, be going there to cast their vote in one form or the other. Now that's casting their vote. Of course, that perennial question in Indian elections, are people casting their vote or voting their caste, which is what we should probably turn our attention to at some point right now. A lot has been said by the BJP and others that you were trying to do a lot of caste politics, which may have worked for you successfully in Gujarat to some extent, effort to split the Lingayats. Have you been doing a lot of caste engineering in Karnataka?
Not really. In fact, that allegation about us splitting the Lingayat vote was unfounded. In fact, that is a question that has been asked and answered multiple times, if not to the BJP's satisfaction, then to everybody else's. The Lingayat demand predates the existence, I think it predates the existence of Mr. Yediyurappa himself, and has been a long-standing demand from the community. It's no different from a demand like that of the Arya Samaj community from time to time, a separate identification. Why do you think Mr. Yediyurappa was silent despite his party speaking out so vociferously? Mr. Yediyurappa maintained a studied silence on the entire issue because he knew it was a genuine issue that had nothing to do with politics. And they asked him why. They asked our Chief Minister Siddaramaiah ji, why did you take so long to act on this demand? And Mr. Siddaramaiah ji, in a very transparent fashion, explained to the people and laid out the entire process, the establishment of the committee, the recommendations of the committee, the steps taken thereafter. And only upon the receipt of those recommendations and the study, identifying Lingayats as a separate separate
So the fact that this happened just before the election was a complete coincidence.
It didn't happen just before the election.
Just a coincidence.
It began right after Siddaramaiah ji assumed power, and the process was set in motion. processes takes time, and in the fullness of time it was recommended, and it just so
Fullness of
happened,
time. I
it
love
just
that.
so happened that it happened
It
to be close
just
to
so
the
happened
election.
that
Fullness of time it happened.
It happened in the fullness of time. You have to follow procedures.
Not at
You have
all.
to
Come
follow
on.
The emptiness of
protocol
the
in this
statement is clearly
process.
visible by the fact that the divisive politics that was undertaken has been actually outrightly rejected in the ground, and it is an actual embarrassment for the Congress.
Are you trying to tell me that the RSS and the BJP have never practiced divisive politics?
Certainly not. And that's
sound that it will.
I think you're following the narrative of 1947 established by the Congress. That is what you are still following. And the fact remains on the ground. When you go on the ground and when you see our shakhas and when you see our project works, you don't see division out there. But in theory, I believe that's a narrative that has been
But hang on,
created.
by definition, if you're going to an
By
RSS
definition.
shakha, you won't see division inside the shakha.
No, there is a
No,
division.
certainly, because you will see all castes are taking part in that. Even
As soon
Muslims
as they
also
leave the
come there.
shakha, they become
even
Yeah.
Muslims.
whatever
Please,
caste they are.
Please hold on, hold on. Everybody goes there. You don't see division in terms of caste or religion in the shakhas. The narrative which is being built for the convenience of the Congress is to speak somehow anything against Congress so that they are able to get some votes.
No, excuse me. Was it the Congress that told Golwalkar to write a bunch of thoughts? Was it Congress that told Hegdewar and their ancestral predecessors to give the
I
kind of
think we
statements
can
they
get
did?
into a very
Was it the
lengthy debate
Congress
on
who
that.
told
I
the
think
RSS
theological debate
to
now.
be
We can get into that
to
kind of
push
debate,
Dalits out
a
of the
huge
ecosystem?
debate,
Was
and
it
I
the
can
Congress?
prove you
I mean,
wrong
come on
point
now.
wise, but
I
this is
understand
Can
our
I-
Prime
can I
Minister
call you
blaming
for a
everything on
theological-
Nehru. I
can I
understand the
call you-
RSS now blaming everything on the
I think
Congress.
we should come back to Karnataka.
Yeah, let's come
Otherwise,
back to Karnataka. Let's come back to Karnataka. Let's come back. By the way, you learn something different in every election, right? So this is, and Ejaz, I'm going to get you because you said you spent 10 years out there and you studied every twist and turns in it. This is the first election that I have ever come across. You hear of all sorts of divisions on this caste and scheduled castes and Dalit factors. This in Karnataka is one of the states where you have new concepts. I mean, not new concepts, but concepts that you don't hear about elsewhere, like left-hand Dalits and right-hand Dalits. Could you maybe elucidate for the rest of us what exactly that is and how that
you know,
plays itself out?
actually it's not different from many other states. You have the Jatas, non-Jatas, you have the Parsis, and you have the Dusards in Bihar. In Karnataka, it's largely exogamous and endogamous situations arising about for centuries. It also afflicts parts of Andhra Pradesh. The Madigas, which are known as the right-hand Dalits, they are the dominant force within the SC community. But you have the Holiyas, who are the left-hand Dalits, and they are the ones who are largely left out of the benefits of the fruits of reservation and affirmative action. So they're the ones who are always, and they're the ones who oppose. And a charge against Mr. Kharge is, being a Madiga, he's always, all the fruits and the benefits have gone to the Madigas, which is the right-hand Dalit community. So the left-hand Dalits definitely are quite upset, and this is something which is over centuries. It's largely, it emanates from an endogamous.
I think, you know,
40 years in the Congress, you know, he has spent, and he has never been a chief minister. Congress has had so many chief ministers, despite being a Dalit leader, a Madiga. He has never been in the reckoning.
Right, we're seeing Sri Ravi Shankar casting his vote out there. Those pictures, coming in on your screen right now. On the question,
Ijaz has highlighted a very important point. You know that even within the Dalit community, there are different categories. The point is that these post-election categories which we have introduced, you know, Dalits, for instance, you know, or even Muslims, you know, they are not actually homogeneous communities. We have seen in Bihar, you know, even among the Muslims, that Nitish Kumar came up with this entire, you know, of the backward Muslims.
The Pasmanda Samaj.
Yeah, the Pasmanda politics, which Nitish Kumar played with great, you know, efficiency at a certain point of time. So there are divisions, and there have been the non-dominant communities within the Dalits which have moved towards the BJP, and that is what we had seen in UP. Now, this is what has to be seen, that despite the resurgence of an anti-Dalit sentiment across the country, are the Dalits going to completely turn away from the BJP, or sections of them would stay with them? We'll get to know about it as more information comes after the elections.
Let's just look at this then, because obviously when you're looking at how communities and castes and others are voting, okay, you've got the Vokalikas and the Lingayats, who've obviously been the dominant factors in Karnataka, voting a lot of time. But there has been a lot of talk about Siddharamaiah bringing back this entire Ahinda factor. You try and get the minorities and the Dalits and other things, and you put together some sort of an alliance with possible Muslim animosity, you know, towards the BJP and rising Dalit anger that potentially could have been a winning factor. But are all of these
object
communities also
I object
subject?
to what you are saying. Muslim animosity towards BJP, it's the other way around.
All right.
So please don't.
Okay, fine.
I mean, this expression I don't
in a sense,
and I object
okay.
to it.
All right, fine. I mean,
There is no animosity towards BJP. It's the other way around.
Yes. Okay,
But
but
the
that's the other
Muslims
way
are not
around. But
voting.
I'm
So
saying,
on
from
the
a
ground-
voting point of view,
Yeah.
from a voting point of view,
They may not vote for BJP because they realize that BJP is not working for them. BJP is sidelining them. BJP is not ready to
I get
give
your
them
point. The
sabka
same-
vikas
so,
and sabka
so here's the
saath.
thing. The Muslims are not likely to be voting for the BJP.
Yes.
In any
But
case.
The
And
word,
it's not
they
whether
have
it's-
any animosity towards BJP
Okay,
is
fine.
wrong. Because it gives a
Whether
very
it's
wrong impression.
forget the
because
word,
that is
forget the
being
word
created
animosity.
today.
If
Let's
Muslims
use-
are not
let's
voting
use
for
the
the
word
BJP,
dislike.
Muslims not voting for the BJP,
Yes,
no,
yes,
but
yes.
the Dalit anger is there. So the possibility of an Ahinda formation is increasingly
That is why
viable.
you're seeing that 30% of the electorate in 30+% of the electorate in Karnataka may not be voting for the BJP. You're talking about the entire Muslim population not voting for the BJP, whether it is because the BJP ignores them or whether they don't like the BJP. It's both things which work in a tandem.
And by the way, it's perfectly possible they won't like the BJP. The BJP is sidelining them. So it's
and
the two
and
go
the
together.
entire SFI factor, the way the BJP has been, especially when you see the coastal Karnataka area, there's a lot of what you're seeing, the RSS and the VHP working out there, that the Congress has been is an anti-Hindu party. They're breaking up the Hindu, the whole thing about castes and everything comes in, that the entire Lingayat thing was to break up the Hindu vote. So they have very successfully managed to portray the Congress in the coastal area, portray the Congress as an anti-Hindu party. They have been very strong. Something that you did not see happening in Gujarat. The RSS and the VHP did not do that in Gujarat all that much on the ground. But in Karnataka, they have successfully managed to portray the Congress and Siddaramaiah, an agnostic at times and sometimes a believer when it is convenient, as he is somebody who has played the Ahinda
Polarization
card.
is the oldest game in the book, right? And it's something which, let's face it, the BJP
And the Congress both have benefited from it.
in different ways.
Yeah.
Now, the fact of the matter, and the reason I'm coming back to this entire issue is, and Deshat, I'm going to come to you, then I'm going to throw the same thing to Ijaz. It's one thing for the BJP to say that, look, let's try and consolidate the Hindu vote and forget about it if the Muslims don't vote for us. You can sideline the Muslims, you can ignore the Muslims, you can even run active anti-Muslim campaigns in certain parts. It doesn't matter because they're, 15% by themselves, they can't hurt us. If you start adding that Muslim vote to the Dalit vote into other votes as well, then it becomes a gamble or a risk that could backfire spectacularly.
So let me tell you, I'll take it as reverse proposition. What you're saying is, what I am saying, when a concept like Ahinda comes, the consolidation starts otherwise then. When you make treating Muslim as a vote bank and consolidate them on one side, obviously there has to be a reaction on the other side. It is not the other way
But Shahid
around.
Singh, you have to see who's starting it right now.
No,
right?
nobody.
It's not that
It is not the question of whether the egg came or the chicken came first. It is because when you make some kind of a consolidation of a minority and treat them as a vote bank.
Ahinda is not just the minorities, by the way. Just to be very
The-
clear,
see,
they are a
Dalits-
component of a
Dalits-
formation.
The Dalits, as Elmi pointed out, was very clearly are divided among various parties.
But
So
let me
they
ask you a question. In case
Let
this
me-
election,
Smita,
this is the last. This is probably, according to me, this is probably the last election where the BJP is allowing or going to allow the Dalit Muslim consolidation to happen against it. In my view, the BJP will not allow this to happen. They will in some way reach out to the Muslims, either break up the Muslim vote if it is a single consolidated whole, or break up the alliance between the Dalits and the Muslims. This is going to be the last election.
Let me tell you.
Or they'll do the Dalits.
Yeah.
They'll try and assuage Dalits, they'll try and assuage Dalit anger.
No, one point. There lies a presumption that Dalits are going against BJP. That is the biggest presumption that people are making. But the ground reality is that they are making their choices and they are spread among all the three parties which are contesting there.
Okay, Shahid, can I ask you this question? But Smita says that the BJP will, it could go either way. Smita says the BJP will reach out to the Muslims, right? Is that likely to happen, or the reverse, that they will actually say, let's have anti-Muslim consolidation.
I question the very premise on which you are making this question, because for the last 70 years, I have been trying to explain that Muslims are not a monolith. Muslims have never voted one way or the other. Muslims have voted in 1977. They were voting even for BJP candidates, RSS supported candidates. It depends on the situation. In the south, they voted for Congress. In the north, they voted for other parties. In Bengal, they voted for the communists and otherwise. So Muslims have been voting in so many ways, number one. Number two, Muslims have different groups and castes, and because of the emergence of democracy, these castes have been sharpened. The Pasmandas, the Qurayshis, the Ansaris, and there are as many castes as there are among Hindus, and plus Muslim castes. As you have heard of the Jhojas, in my constituency in Muzaffarnagar, you are more Jhojas than Khans or Pathans or Sayyids or Sheikhs or others. You have Gadas, you have Mora, that is the Jat Muslims, the Tyagi Muslims. So all sorts of Muslims are there. So
very confusing.
This is a very confusing. That's the reality of India. That's the Indian reality.
So you eventually come down into sub-communities rather than a Muslim bloc or a Dalit bloc.
Please let me finish. Face the Indian reality, and even in Karnataka, I have been there for last 10 days, and I've spoken to a lot of people. You won't believe it, in many areas in Bangalore, I have met many Muslims who have said that they will be voting for BJP. To say that BJP...
So let me get Ajaz in. He's a Muslim in the BJP, so let me ask him.
And this narrative is built in order to consolidate Hindu vote. This Muslim Leviathan is built up in order to consolidate, and there's a false premise.
Okay, it's a false premise that so Ajaz, why don't you respond to what you said?
It's very clear at different times. Yes, the BJP doesn't get more than the maximum they get is 5 to 11% or 12% of the Muslim vote in different elections. Vajpayee took it to 11%, 12%, but it fluctuates. It's never more than that. But it doesn't mean, but if you have 10% of people of the Muslim community voting for the BJP, you know, as a community, I don't believe in isolating myself as a Muslim from any political party. Okay, yes. Just because it's the BJP doesn't mean that I have to oppose them. The fact is, if they can deliver, affirmative action, fruits and benefits and service and delivery, that is what every community should look for. Secondly, stratification, sub-stratification, micro-stratification is across everybody. You're talking about there's nothing called a monolithic Lingayat vote in Karnataka. Yes. There are 98 subcastes out there. They have despite Basavanas, Vachanas, that it should be a casteless society, there are 98 subcastes, and there's stratification and there are hierarchical differences. So what are we talking about? This is the reality of what India is all about.
You know, I was listening to Shahid very carefully. You know, he has a very valid point that Muslims is not a monolith. But there's also that in the last 4 years, you know, ever since the BJP came to power, there is a greater amount of, you know, coming together among the Muslims that one can see as attacks have gone up.
Okay.
That cannot be denied.
Let me just quickly get with Mohammed Khan on this.
There are reasons for that.
Yeah, of course there are reasons for that. We know that.
BJP doesn't give a single ticket to Muslims.
Not just a question of tickets, you know.
They don't even do one campaign among them.
Brutally offensive.
They don't ask.
Its cadre is brutally offensive. They go around identifying Muslims.
Leadership have written them off totally.
Smita ji, I want to tell you about something that happened yesterday. Our leaders went to the election commission. They were very upset because what we had seen was that on the last day when polling was supposed to close, this picture was circulating on WhatsApp in Karnataka. Pakistani flag and the Congress flag.
Yeah.
That was completely disgusting. Yeah. Who did it? Who stands to gain from that? As you said, right?
I tweeted it also saying that it's fake news. Yeah.
Who did that? Who is fostering that impression? Who stands to gain from that impression? The answers are known to everyone.
Okay, I'm going to take a very quick break because I want to catch the top of the next hour. This is an interesting discussion. We should continue it, but in just 3 minutes when we return. Okay, it is 11 a.m., which means in case you are in Karnataka and you haven't yet voted, you have 7 hours to go before you go out there and you cast your vote. And then if you don't go out and vote and anything goes wrong and your life hasn't become substantially better, you have no one to blame but yourself. It's the most important democratic right that you have and your duty. So you should certainly go out and vote. Doesn't matter whom you're voting for, just go and vote if you are in Karnataka. And actually, we're still waiting to get the latest voter turnout numbers. At 9 a.m., something like 10.6 or 11% of people had voted. We'll see how those numbers are stacking out. Now, Maya Sharma was at a booth with long sneaking queues when we last spoke to her about half an hour back. But she is, of course, traversing the city like a nomad. But Maya, where are you now and what are the queues there like?
I'm in a place called Talgatpura, and yes, we have good numbers here too. Let's look at those queues. The day has been getting hotter. There were concerns about rain because we've had rain last evening and the evening before that. But this place also has many people lining up to vote. A good turnout here. A lot of enthusiastic voters out here deciding to cast their votes. So you decided very important to vote. What do you hope for when you vote? What are your hopes?
We expect that in Karnataka there is a better government.
Okay.
And the situation of the people improve.
Situation of the people improves. And you also feel you must come out and vote. Is it very important?
Yes, sure.
Every election you vote?
Yes.
Okay. ಏನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು? ಗಿರಿಜಾ ಪ್ರತಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ಹೌದು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಯಾಕೆ?
ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ, ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ, ನಮಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗಬೇಕು.
So she votes every election, let things happen well for the people and for her also. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರಪ್ಪ? ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ನೀವು ಪ್ರತಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ಖಂಡಿತ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಜನಗಳು ಇರಬೇಕು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಜೆಗಳಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ.
Okay, so in order to make politics good and for the progress, he also continues to vote every single election. And the queue stretching on now with families actually coming in. And ನೀವು ಇನ್ನು ಚಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, you're not voting ಅಲ್ಲ? So, but you've come with your daughter, I guess, to vote.
No, simply she's
come along. No, but you brought her because it's important to vote, no?
Yes.
ಯಾಕೆ? Why is it important? ಯಾಕೆ?
ಅವಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ವೋಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ವಿ.
Absolutely. So this mother has brought her daughter-in-law so that she knows how important voting is and why she should vote. So ನೀವು 18, will you vote when you're 18?
Yes.
You will vote, yes. Okay, so thank you. So these parents also teaching their children here how important it is to vote. It is, of course, hugely important. This is an election that has grabbed the interest of the country. A very significant election indeed. We have, of course, the 2019 Lok Sabha elections coming up. But for the people of Karnataka too, it has been hugely important. We've seen national leaders here, whether it's Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and the local heroes as well, all trying to lay claim to Karnataka, trying to lay claim to this very important state. And the queues are out, crowds are out. It's 11 o'clock, it's heating up now. It's quite a warm and muggy day, at least by Bengaluru standards. I know that people in North India would not find the temperature of about 32 degrees hot, but we find it very hot. It is a hot day, but as we approach noon, people are still turning out to vote in large numbers, waiting for their turn to exercise their franchise. They consider it their duty.
Right, Maya, that's actually quite Maya, you've covered so many elections out there. Just wanted to get your sense. Is it as per your last experience, is there as much enthusiasm as you've seen in the past, less, about the same? Or is it tough to judge?
I would say there's actually more enthusiasm this time. I don't know if it's because of the pervasiveness of even, say, social media, the coverage. We've all been covering this election a whole lot more than previous state elections. On the national media as well has paid a lot of attention. We've got any number of Kannada channels out there on the ground. There's a lot of information about this election, a lot of debate, a lot of social media, lots of tweets going on, lots of Facebook posts, lots of discussion. I would say, again, it's an opinion, but I would say that this election is the one in which the people have expressed the most interest over many elections in the past. And let's just hope it's reflected in a good turnout at the end of the day. Judging by the places I have been to, it looks as if we will have a good turnout this time. Last time Bengaluru had about 72%. Let's hope that it is a bit more this time round, but certainly I'd say the interest is a bit more this time round.
All right, that's really an interesting observation out there. So let me just try and quickly get some more takes from everybody out here. That sort of response that you're seeing, is that good, bad, ugly?
Good thing. It's generally the intuitive wisdom is that if there is high turnout, then it is bad for the incumbent. So I think we can say with reasonable certitude that the good people of Karnataka have resolved to vote this corrupt Siddaramaiah government out, and they've also resolved to reject the Tipu Sultan Raj that was sought to be perpetrated by the Congress party.
All right, Tom, high voter turnout. Let's just keep this to the civics of this entire thing, to get a lot of people to go out there and to vote.
Yes.
Is that the really important message?
Yeah, that's a message which is important, and the people, 5 crore people of Karnataka are taking it very seriously. They're going to tell the parties there the deliverables that have been delivered, and who has delivered, and the ground reality. Have they received it? Have they not received it? These are questions people are asking. It's not about how loud you speak, or whether you speak from Nepal and send messaging, or you're on a religious tourism. That's not the issue. What have you delivered nationally and state-wise?
All right.
Let me tell you, I was watching very carefully each and every interview which was shown by the voter, and we all very comfortably were discussing caste being the factor. None of the voters used the word caste. Is the voter very smart? What he says on television and what he actually votes?
Say that he's voting his caste.
Nobody ever says that. Nobody ever says, and we are very happily discussing that caste is an important factor.
So, but then here's the issue then. Therefore, actually, that's an interesting thing to look at. People never say that we are voting. I have never in all these years had anybody in any election queue saying I am voting because of caste, community, religion, any of those factors. So either they don't matter and everyone keeps thinking they matter, or they do matter and people just don't say it on TV.
Yes, it's obvious that nobody admits that they are voting on caste or community or religion, but the fact is that that happens, and it's happening much more in this election in Karnataka. And I don't agree with him that just because the voter turnout is higher, therefore it's for against the incumbent government. That may not be the case, because what I saw on the ground was that a lot of people are feeling that this is a very crucial election, and therefore they should go out and vote. So a lot of minorities, Dalits, backwards are also coming out in large numbers to see that change doesn't come in. So it may be going Congress way as well if the higher voting
I think it's very good that people are coming out in large numbers, and in fact more and more should come out, and that would actually reflect the true mandate of the people.
All right, so as we're just trying to arrive at the end of the day, whatever's happening, whoever's winning, the importance of getting people to just come out and vote. That's a big message.
I think that should be the prime message given by all political parties. It's important in a democracy to exercise your choice and you exercise your mandate, because it shows that you are concerned, you're part of the process, you're a stakeholder. That's very important. Maya Sharma, obviously, this is probably her 5th election she's covering Vidhan Sabha elections in Karnataka. So obviously, the interest is much more because of social media. People awareness levels are higher of Facebook, Twitter, social media posts. So, but maybe that awareness level may be higher, but maybe that doesn't reflect on the large number of people coming in. So more opinions are coming out, but do they actually come out to vote? That is something we'll see in the end. And also on what you talk about the caste. Nobody's going to say, I'm voting for my caste. Okay. Because when you're in the spotlight of television, you understand there's a responsibility of saying the right thing, even for citizens.
So I'm going to slip into a break right now. This is essentially what's been happening since the morning. We've been taking a look at voting happening, a lot of people coming out, and the big message from everyone continues to be, whatever is happening, whatever issues you're voting on, do go out and cast your vote. That's really important. We're going to slip into a break and then keep showing you other news as well from across the country. We'll be back soon. All right, so Karnataka is voting. It's Mission Karnataka for all political parties. We are still trying to figure out what exactly the turnout numbers are. Some reports are saying, ANI, for example, reporting that it's about 24% now till 11 a.m. And Maya has been showing us these long queues that are building up in many places. So that is showing a certain amount of interest and a certain amount of enthusiasm. Hitesh now joining us for more on that. Hitesh, which areas have you been traveling around in, and how much enthusiasm have you been seeing?
Yeah, I've been traveling around in these places in Mysuru districts, and I want to show you something. Now, I had said in the morning that the voter turnout was a little slow and the people were trickling in ones and twos. Now suddenly we can see the surge here, and one of the regions, this Siddaramaiah is arriving at this constituency in a short while. So people are here enthusiastic, and it won't be a fair assessment of Congress's prospect here, Vikram, because it's just like standing in Manpuri and talking about Samajwadi Party or Mulayam Singh Yadav's prospects, because people, he has got, this is his home village, this is his own forte, so quite understandably people are supporting. His son is contesting from here. But the issues here, when we talk to people, language is a little problem, but with the help of friends, if I talk to the people, issues are not as dominant as generally we see in different elections, and no wave, kind of anti-incumbency wave or, other kind of, that is not there. So the question of the entire election boils down to at some level to the caste equations also, and that is very important because Congress has to defend 8 out of 11 seats in this district, and Lingayat, Vokkaliga and other castes which the Chief Minister belongs, SC, ST, all kind of amalgamation is here. So it's difficult to predict here, but BJP very tactically has placed its candidates, and in many ways people are telling help JDS to win as much as possible, because JDS has good chances here, and JDS progresses, it's good for BJP as their own cadre says, and post-poll after the results come, they hope kind of alliance here.
All right, just a sort of, I'm just trying to understand again I think he's just stepped aside. I was just trying to figure out, Hitesh, yeah, if you can hear me, the sort of issues that when you're talking to people and you're roaming around and interacting with them, what are the main sort of issues that seem to be resonating with them? Is it on community grounds, caste grounds? Is it about specific things like, bijli, sadak, pani, the roads, the development? What are the sort of issues that they are talking to you about there?
Yeah, bijli, sadak, pani, it's normally some people, in pockets, they do complain, but I don't see it building up as a poll issue and going out and polling and voting out the candidates or MLAs sitting out there. But, the situation here is that Siddaramaiah, in this area, the contest, as I said, is between BJP and JDS. So there is a poster boy, Siddaramaiah, and there is Modi, who has campaigned, who has said that here is a government, you have to oust this government and bring some progress, some development. So people have heard Modi in urban areas. If you be in Mysuru or in Bengaluru for the case, people will, talk about Modi. And but when you go to the villages, it boils down to JDS, Devgala, Kumaraswamy. In the Kumaraswamy's constituency is not very far from here. He's contesting from 2 seats, Ramnagar and very close by Channapattan, which is also known for the wooden toys. So I mean, these things come around. So what I guess is that, so your attachment to your caste and your community, that becomes a little more important than the issues here. But surely the corruption issue has been discussed here. Money power is being played out here. We heard last evening that in Bengaluru one candidate was taken to Thana because he was caught red-handed distributing money. So that money power, muscle power, that is all out in play. But what we talk generally about, the basic issues about water, electricity, as you said, those are what my assessment is, those are not as dominant as they should be.
All right, Hitesh, thanks a lot for joining us. Well, Maya in another part of rural Bengaluru got a chance to catch up with a really, really senior voter, and more than 100 years old actually, and she told Maya why she thought it was so important to go and vote.
People making every effort to come out and vote here in the Karnataka elections, whether it's excited first-time voters or this lady who must have voted many, many times in her long life. She's been given permission to go in a little bit ahead. Because of her age, she's been allowed to go in a little bit early. Now, this is, of course, a big day for Karnataka, voting on in 222 seats for the 224-member assembly. 2 seats not voting, 1 due to the death of the candidate, and 1 election actually countermanded because of irregularities, the discovery of thousands of voter ID cards with no legitimate explanation. But this is a huge day for Karnataka, and also something new for those of us who voted today. Something new that was seen in this voting was the fact that the VVPATs, as they're called, were actually used. That is the voter verification paper audit trail. So after voting, we were able to get a verification of who we had voted for to make sure it had been registered properly. But this process on now, people taking it very seriously indeed, as they come out to decide who will rule the state of Karnataka in the next 5 years. This has been a long, sometimes a very bitter campaign, with all parties taking this election very seriously indeed. A high-stakes state election ahead of the 2019 general election. This is Karnataka on voting day, Saturday, May the 12th. Important for everybody to come out and vote. With DM Kumar, Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.
All right, so Maya reporting from that part of rural Bengaluru. Just want to get everyone's quick take on the voting figures that we are seeing right now. 24% or thereabouts till 11 a.m. Does that surprise you? Is it as per your expectation, Raghav?
I think the turnout was going to be high because, like I said, I'm not very sure if...
I mean, it was 71%, let's remember, in the 2013, 64% in 2014, but it's only 11 a.m. I mean,
it's only 11 and the figures are going, I mean, it's going to go up, and if this trend holds, then I think there is a good chance that it might even top the turnout which was there last time.
I think it's a healthy sign. I think by the end of the evening, it should be higher than what it was in 2014.
So in 3 hours.
But in Karnataka, a lot of times, Maya was telling us a lot of time people vote in the morning. So that's.
These are also very provisional figures.
Okay.
We know it from the past.
Yes, I agree with them, and I think it may be a 1 or 2% higher. But people are also afraid, it seems, that there may be rain later on, because normally rain comes in the evening. So people want to vote as much as possible before that happens.
I think it should cross 65%. That's my take. It was 63%.
Well, let's see how they are. But certainly there were big queues that we were seeing in some parts of there. So that's the situation roughly at about 11:30. Karnataka continuing to vote. We're going to slip into a break right now. Also bring you some of the news then from other parts of the country. There are other things happening in addition to that election in Karnataka. So Gargi is going to be with us when we come back after this break.